Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another tutorial. My name is Eric Morales from Eric Morales Photography here in Melbourne, Florida. And in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you a little bit of my workflow when I'm working with pictures. Now, this tutorial is going to be based on some easy steps to follow when you are trying to edit a picture. Now, a friend of mine, Serge Tavares, kind of broke it down to me the first time because you see, I'm not a professional retoucher or a professional photographer, so I have people that actually walk me through certain things that I need to do before retouching an image. So Serge Tavares actually broke it down to me in about 3, maybe 4 easy steps, and that's what I want to show you. And you know, Serge Tavares, he's an awesome photographer, and if you want to check his work, just go check him out on Facebook, facebook.com/Serge Tavares, or you could go to his blog at www.newyorker.com. So most likely, here's the image that I chose for this. Okay, Windows, blah 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 blah. What's this? Current color scheme, but ask me again. Just keep curing. Okay, so here's the image that I chose for this tutorial, and I kind of like it because it's, you know, light on one side, dark on the other. So the first thing that we're going to do, we are going to white balance this image. And even so, I shot this this photo in RAW, and I white balanced my camera in studio, but I just want to give it another quick touch here in Lightroom, so you'll see the options that sometimes really doesn't matter how you white balance your camera. You can always come and pose and fix it later, as long as you shoot in RAW. This only applies to RAW imaging. So we're just gonna grab this color picker here, and we are going to look for a gray right there, right about I got the gray point right there. Now you're seeing how that went from one spot to the next. Whoops, sorry. So let's just do it again. Alright, so gray, you're gonna look for that gray. Now automatically you saw the change in how the shirt is white, and it went from that color, kind of reddish, to the completely white. Why is it doing this? Redo, and then redo white balance. You saw that there was like a color temperature change, and like I said, this only applies to raw image. And then once you've done that, then you're going to, you know, maybe adjust some of the colors, which here looks pretty good. Now the blacks are completely clipped out, so you're going to try to, right about there, I'll say it's okay. Maybe the highlights. Play around with some of the shadows. And then just to give it a little bit more detail or definition, you can play around with the clarity. I'll try to keep it between 0 and 15. So now what we're going to do, everything's looking good so far. We're just going to sharpen the image. Now the image, you could go from 0 to 100. It's up to your liking on how sharp you want your picture. So in my case, I'll say about 77%. And the luminance, we're just going to keep it around 15%. So once you've done that, you know, just go over the image. See, everything lights, everything is looking good. So now what we're going to do, we're going to send this image into Photoshop CC. Ooh. Another thing I didn't say, I don't know how to color correct in Lightroom, not just yet. You know, I'm pretty new to Lightroom. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to color correct it inside Photoshop with a technique that I learned from Chris Orwick. You know, I watched one of his video tutorials on lynda.com, and I like his technique better on color correcting an image. And it's one simple formula, there's nothing crazy about it. But his technique is very, very precise. It's just one simple formula that you do, and I'm gonna show you, I mean, once this image opens up, I can show you this technique. Okay, so here we are in Photoshop CC. Most likely, just to color correct this image, we're just going to grab this color picker here, and we are going to pull up the information panel, which is right here, and we're going to go based off the CYMK, and I'm going to explain why and how the formula works as we go through it. So once you're set here, you know, we're going to sweep through this image, and you can see the values, how they change once we sweep this color picker around the body. You see? Most likely we're trying to look for a spot where the values are not really, really high. I'll say right about there. So we're gonna hit Control Shift and click right on there. Then here where it says RGB, we're gonna have to change it to CYMK. So now these are our values. It's 16, 32, and 40. The values are pretty close to each other. So what we're gonna do, we're just going to do the formula, which is the C has to be 1/3 of the M. So most likely this is 16, that's exactly in half, so a third will be like maybe 12, 13, or most likely 11, 10 or 11. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab our curves, and we're gonna click on this little icon here, and we're gonna change our first color. And now right here where you click, let me make it a little bigger. We're going to bring the red channel right about there. Now you saw how that changed the overall. And now the Y has to be greater, or a third above the M. So we're going to go into the curves, and we're going to change it to the blue channel. Go back to the info panel, and we are going to make this blue go a little higher, so about there. You see, it's still kind of, everything is up or depends on your perception. You could either go with this look, or you could just go with a simple white balance. It don't matter. Whatever works for you. Remember, you're the one editing this image, and your critique on your own work is very, very important. Now, once again, I do not claim that my technique is better, or that you really have to do this, or that you have to stick with the steps, because like I said, as a photographer, you gotta have your own perception of things. I know that my technique, some people might not like, some people might like, but the purpose of this tutorials is just to show people or how to point people in the right direction, how to do things. You don't have to do everything exactly how I do it, but you know, these are just a few pointers that you gotta keep in mind. And like I said, you know, this is the color correction that I came up with, and maybe it looks too red, you know, most people will say too red, but when we did the color correction, right on her skin. So now there's two ways of doing this. You could either just go with the original image, or you could just fill this with black, Control Shift Delete, and you can just grab the brush and just paint the only area that you want the color correction on. You saw how nice, easy, simple. Now everybody happy. So now this is the color correction that I really wanted by the formula from Chris Hardwick. Or like I said, you could just stick with the original image. It really don't matter. Everything is in the eye of the beholder, so most likely your critique is very important over your own work. Now I'm just gonna go with this color right here because I mean that's where I like it, that's where I want to keep it. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna, repaint this right here. Blah 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 blah. This thing is really bugging me out, so real quick, let me just make a quick layer and the clone stand tool. Then what we're going to do, we're going to make that bigger, much bigger, right there. So what we're going to do, we're just going to click, in this area, and then just paint over this. Oops. Got to change this to all layers first. Thank you. So then once again, click and right. Now that's gone. It's not bugging me anymore. So most likely this is the end result of the color correction and the sharpening and all that. We did it in Lightroom, which is the reason why I love the workflow between Lightroom and Photoshop. You could do a few things just by tweaking a few knobs here and there, and you automatically get that result. Because you see, here in Photoshop, we're actually, let's say you want to sharpen this image. Now, there's many different ways of doing it. You could either just come here, click duplicate layer. That's okay, and you could go to filter. We're gonna go to high pass. And then, anywhere between 0 and 10. So that's that, and then we're going to change the blend mode to whichever one you like. Most people will do overlay. Some people will do soft light. Some people will do hard light, or vivid light, or linear light. It don't matter. The good thing is whatever you feel like is the correct way. I'm not gonna tell you which one is the correct way, but in my case, I will do the soft light. Most of the time, I will use soft light, and the reason for that is because it brings some nice contrast into the image. But this is one technique. Or if not, we could just delete this right here, and you can duplicate the image. This is the other way that you can do it, and just change the blender. Okay, this is the soft light, and like I said, it just increases the contrast in the image. See what I'm saying? You could either just lower the opacity 10%, 15%, it's up to your liking. It really don't matter, or you can just change it to hard light. Oops, sorry. Now that's soft light, hard light, vivid light, and hard light. So those are about the only 3 ways that I could think of from the top of my head right now to sharpen the image or to bring more contrast into the image. But right now, I really don't like the way this is looking, so I'm just going to delete it. So now we're back at this right here. Now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna apply the same technique that I used before for the skin. So I'm just going to duplicate this layer. Then we're going to change the blend mode to vivid light. Then Control I to invert it, or Command I in the Mac. To invert that channel, then we're going to go to Filter, Other, High Pass. Now in the high pass, you're going to set it to 24 pixels. Hit OK. We're going to go to Filter again, Blur, Gaussian Blur. We're going to set that to 3 pixels. Then hit OK. And now we are going to blending options. Now we're going to this is set so we can see what we're doing. Then you're gonna hit Alt and click on this arrow. Then hit OK. You see that? So now just so I can show some people, you see how I did that and I did not lose detail on the skin, which is the reason why I like this technique very, very much. Now what happens is, if you look at it from far, it looks like I overdid the skin, but I didn't. So now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna hide this with a black mask. Just press Alt, click, and we're gonna grab a brush with white, and we are going to start painting over the skin. Let's say right about there. And then just paint the areas of the skin where you want it really, really soft. I know that doing it like this is kind of hard, but then like I said, next to your bracket buttons in your keyboard, you can hit the bracket there and you can see the mask. So like that you'll see the areas that you are affecting. See that? Now remember, this technique is practically just for the skin, so you want to keep everything else masked in, because if not, it's going to look very, very blurry. Okay, keep some of that. Remember what I said about tattoos before? Try to stay away from the tattoos. Let's change this so you can see what you're doing. Let's make this about 100 pixels. I'm just going to paint over that, make sure that we're getting everything in the arm, just to make sure. Right there. This is looking pretty good. Let's get some here in the arm, the fingers. And try to stay away from things that need details like the pants, tattoos, bracelets, necklaces. See that right there. Painting it over. And remember, these are just steps that you want to follow when you're editing. I'm not fully retouching this image just for the purpose of this tutorial, just to show you the steps and show you some of the stuff that I do, and to keep showing this technique on how to retouch the skin real quick, because I mean, this is how fast, quick, and precise this thing is, that I want to show it over and over and over. Like I said, this is not the right way, but you see, once again, there's no such thing. I mean, the right way is whatever you feel comfortable with or doing. So we're just going to keep painting this right here. Stay away from the bracelet, clothes, pants. See that? Just trying to paint all that in. So this is looking good so far. Just paint that in. Skin, skin, skin. More skin. Looking good so far. Okay, the face. More here, maybe right here on the nose. Well, I gotta get a smaller brush. So I would say right about there. So right there is looking good. Oh yes, it's looking really, really, really good. So, once we got this, it's up to you if you just want to keep adding more stuff. Me, I like to just bring the levels adjustment and kind of wash it out like a matte. Just give it a quick touch. I'll set about a 5%. Should be good. Voila, we got a great looking image. Just following these very, very simple steps. And once again, I want to thank Serge Tavares for these pointers that he showed me. I'm still kind of bugged by this thing right here. So once again, since we got this layered, just grab the clones tool, the clone stamp tool, not the clones tool. So with the clone stamp, we're just going to sample, click, drag, sample, click, drag, sample. Maybe make the brush a little smaller so we can get in that area real good. And voila. You know, like I said, if you don't like these masks, throw it out. It's still not affecting because we did everything on independent layers. So, you know, here's our original image. And this is after it's done. It looks so much cleaner, right? Well, so once again, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. My name is Eric Morales from Eric Morales Photography here in Melbourne, Florida. And I hope, and I'm gonna repeat myself again, this is not, or I don't claim that this is not the right way or that it is. This is just something that I use on my own workflow. You could grab anything from any steps that I just showed you and you could incorporate it into your own workflow. It's up to you. But until next time, I'll just hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you and have a great day.